I want to add my voice to questions to the flag bearers, and I think we should narrow more to the flag bearers hearing on how they can respond. They are not here, but we are being covered. My first thing is I've realized that teachers that are trained and nurses, they pay to get their jobs after being trained. It is very clear and very loud in our side of country. You finish, if you don't have 250, you cannot be posted. I don't know whether it's 2,000 and something, but I heard you have to pay 250, 500. No, let me get it right so that I can say it bigger. Yeah, so I think one of the things I would want flag bearers to investigate and to ensure, when I was trained as a teacher, I never paid anything and I was posted to where my services were needed. So one of the problems is that if I have to finish, and even to get my certificate, I have to sit in exams and also to pay money to some people before they can post me. It is a challenge because poor people do not. Even the people that are recruited into the security services, you have to pay so much money. And the poor people are not able to get the money. The rich people pay and put people who cannot even do the work. So I think that a flag bearer should be able to investigate in its regime to see whether these things are true. But I have also done my investigation. It's true. Teachers have said so and nurses. The other thing is, I would have asked John, Boko conflict has become purely a killing, a murder, and slaughtering. You even will have to leave when you are traveling, you can't cross Wale Wale. And I know that the security and protection of the citizens is in the hands of the government. I would have asked John what he would do about the Mamprisi, Kusasi issue, because it's a very serious thing. People are not giving the numbers, but very quality people have been killed within the period, and they will always ambush and kill. I would have asked John what he would do about it. For Bawumia, I would have asked him. He is a Mamprisi man, and
whether we have national policies on sectors of our economy. For example, do we have a national educational policy? Do we have a policy on health? Do we have policy on the respective sectors of our economy? If we do, why is it that politicians are overly concentrating on their partisan policies? I would want our flag bearers, if we do not have such in place, can we not work towards having an educational policy that runs through, irrespective of whoever comes to power, should implement those policies instead of our own policy? We wouldn't have had that if we really had a policy on education. Today we have 3 years, tomorrow we have 4 years, today we have JSS, another day we have this. Why is that happening? What kind of nation are we? And if our politicians are what they claim to be, they should come together and put something in place that will guide them, so that when one party comes and starts a project, the other party comes in and it is mandatory for the person to continue. Because we have Mahama schools are there, they are standing there waiting for him. If God permits and he comes, you continue. These people have started Agenda 111. They are also at different levels. When they lose, what happens? It is very, very serious. We have to look about that. And I also want to ask the the candidates, if people are questioning their credibility, how do they feel? How do they feel? And what will they do about it? If they were here, I would have wanted responses on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are wrapping up.
Thank you very much. My question goes to those standing for the elections. Your mama and then Paumia. But unfortunately, the flag bearers, they are not here, but they will hear what I want to ask. My problem is about the sick. The sick. Today, when you go to the drugstore to buy your medication, different price. The following day, they say dialysis. People are dying everywhere. They don't even talk about those with heart problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It appears the National Health Insurance has left out the critical ailments.
Thank you very much. I earlier on wanted to share some concerns on education. I would add some issues of health. We all know that the free SHS policy came to alleviate poverty in some way by providing what? That was their aim, by providing free SHS education. It came with increased enrollment in the schools because it was free. So a parent who hitherto would not allow their child who got a bad aggregate, let's say the 30s, the 40s, and say, okay, stay at home and learn a trade because you cannot make it in the grammar school. This parent will say, oh, SHS is free. Go so that you can get that certificate, WASI certificate. But now the government did not increase the infrastructure, but they increased enrollment. Now they get to school, and then there is overcrowding. Students in dining hall or assembly hall or under trees. Otherwise, people will say our policy has failed. And then nobody sees how these students sleep when they get back at the end of the day. This free SHS policy is also characterized with a lot of movement. It came with semester type of curriculum. Learners are supposed to do 2 semesters for the academic year, but we all are witnesses to it. Within 1 semester, there's a lot of vacations. I ask myself, so have we come to alleviate poverty, or we have come to impoverish the already poor people? Because this poor parent who is supposed to benefit from the free education has to transport the child about 4 or 5 times home and back within the same academic year. But when it was the trimester system, I know that my child will vacate twice, and then the 3rd vacation is entering the next academic year. But we are rather seeing impoverishment. So I want to ask our party candidates, what will they do about this free SHS system of education, which is characterized with increased enrollment, putting pressure on school infrastructure, and then making the learners move too much up and down. This also has mental health concerns, because the learners come, some of them are not even able to cope with the grammar system of education. Like one of us said earlier, what the focus on only the cognitive aspect, and then we are leaving the affective and then the psychomotor. So my question to them is, what are you going to do so that we can reverse all the schools back to one system, no double track, and then they all vacate at the same time, reopen school at the same time, so that teachers can also take their vacation and the learners can also enjoy some vacation, then parents' pockets will rest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we will not close if we joke.
Thank you very much. I have about 3 points. I'd like to make them brief. The first is that listening to people, being a student of politics, of history, and so on, I believe that we should not despair Because sometimes when we speak, it is as if nothing is happening, there is nothing good in Ghana. But please, let us take our time. Someone was telling me that he has gone to African countries and other places where if you needed to go to some places, you just had to create a road. So you have to now drive and create a road to go to some of the places. So that we are far better in many respects. Even in the US, that has a democracy hundreds of years older than we have in Ghana. You depending on who is in office, there are people cheating, there are people who are corrupt. Even their voting system, I will tell you, is weaker than ours. Because if in the US, in some states, if someone came to vote and you ask him for an ID card, they will say you are racist. So they are allowed to cheat. In Ghana, you let it happen and see. Now you come, you say you are voting, you don't have ID card, you have nothing. You see what they will do to you. So I want to say that not everybody who writes exams is a cheat. I wrote exams, I didn't cheat. Xavier. And not everybody who has a degree is a cheat. Please, no. Not everyone who has I'm talking of even now. I follow the brilliant science and math quiz and things like that. Some of the questions the chaps are answering, I cannot answer them as a science student. And I can tell you that some of them are more brilliant than I am, even though I don't believe that some of them are